So hi, it is Tuesday afternoon, December, what is today? 18th. And I am back at the horse farm. Janie had a lesson scheduled today, but they actually at the last minute changed it to a trail ride. So I'm just kind of hanging out while a group of them have gone on a little trail ride out here. And I've got some knitting time. I could leave and go do something else, but traffic is sort of crazy in Aiken today. So not really worth leaving when I could get in a little bit of knitting time. I thought I was going to be going home tonight to knit, but my husband called a while ago and said, let's meet for dinner in Aiken and go to a movie. So we're going to go see The Grinch tonight. Janie and I left early today so that we could get her Christmas shopping finished. She had one more thing to buy for her dad, and I had something I wanted to get while I was there. So we went into town and went to Target and then came back out for her lesson, and now I'm just sitting here waiting for her. I'm wearing my Wyeth cardigan. It's not cold today, it's low 60s, so I'm actually a little warm, but it's the Wyeth cardigan, and this is the Skagen shawl. I made this one last year, I think. This is a cotton blend from Barocco Remix, I think it is, and I really liked it. It was in our goodie bag at Into the Wool, I think, not this past time, but the year before, and I really liked the feel of it. It was nice to knit with, and it feels great. It's perfect for a day like this when you want something, but not necessarily wool. I have not worked on the Advent wrap. I've got it with me, but I don't think I'm going to have a whole lot of time for that. I may get in a little bit, but what I have done is added the next color to my Pure Imagination cowl. I finished up with the vintage Christmas tree from, I can't remember the name. Let's see if I have it. There it is. Saltbox Knits. So I finished that one up, and now I've added that Holly and Ivy dye works with all the fabulous purples and greens and pinks and everything. I've just gotten started on it, but it's looking really good. I like it. Today we were home all morning, and then when Janie and I left, we actually had a roofer coming. I don't think I've mentioned this on video, but I've mentioned it on the audio podcast, I think. We have a leak from somewhere on presumably our roof, but we noticed it because there's water damage on a first floor ceiling. The way our house is not a full 2-story house, it's like a story and a half. So somehow water is getting through the roof, through this angled part, not inside the house, but coming down there, and somehow water is getting to our master bedroom. And water damage gets bad really fast. There was no sign of this 2 weeks ago. About a week and a half ago, I noticed it, and it was just a fairly faint stain on the ceiling, and I actually saw mildew, mold maybe, starting to grow right at the edge of the ceiling today. So this is getting bad really fast. But anyway, the roofer came out. He didn't see anything obvious, but he saw a couple of things that might be it. So hopefully this won't turn into be a really big deal over the next couple of weeks, but you know, Merry Christmas to us. I think he'll be able to fix it. This is a guy that my husband's worked with before, and I think he's pretty reliable, so hopefully he'll be able to get on it. The bad news is, although it's gorgeous today, we're supposed to be getting quite a bit more rain coming up in a few days, so I'm really hoping he can pinpoint the problem so we can keep it from getting much worse. Well, I'm going to sign off and continue knitting on this, and I will check back with you later. I'll try to snap a couple of pictures of us going to see The Grinch tonight. Hope you're enjoying your holiday and that Christmas is wonderful for you. Merry Christmas! So, good morning, everybody. I am out. I just put something in my mailbox, and I'm out walking on my driveway. I thought I'd just give you a little tour of where I usually run and also just what our driveway is like. This, I think, was originally a logging road, It goes down to a little spot on the North Edisto River. And before we moved here, people would come down here quite a bit to fish. And we had people come down here not knowing somebody was living there. So we had a few people come down and have to turn around because there's actually a house there now. But it's, as I said, been here for quite a long time. I really couldn't even tell you how long. Off to the left, which is totally in the woods now, back probably 100 years ago, there was a railroad that went through here. There was a stop a few miles kind of back the other way, behind, more or less behind where I am now. And if you trek through the swamp back there, there are actually still railroad pilings back there, and we will occasionally find railroad ties, the big, they look like giant nails, but we will find those stakes every once in a while on the property from when the railroad came through. I'm going to turn the camera just a little bit. If you go up that way, that's up toward where our goats are, but I really like this path down through here because the trees kind of cover it. One of my favorite things from the time we first moved out here is this driveway. It's not fancy or special. As I said, just an old logging road of some kind, but I just love it. It's pretty throughout the seasons and loads of fun on the rare occasions when we get enough snow to cover it. It's just gorgeous. Sort of like walking through Narnia if you've read the books or seen the movie. It's just beautiful. There's a spot just up ahead where there tends to be water a lot. If it's really dry in the summer, it'll dry out, but throughout the winter, we usually have puddles down here. We actually had somebody work on it. You can see there's some gravel in here. We had somebody work on it this past November, I guess, right before Thanksgiving. And I'm kind of scooching over to the left a little bit so you can see it, but I won't actually be walking in the water. He said that this hill, if you can tell, the terrain kind of goes up a little bit. There's something like a spring here, so the water comes down through the hill and just comes out at this spot. So that's why it's very difficult to keep this dry. We put rocks and gravel and we've had it graded several times, and there's just always standing water here. It's not usually a problem unless it's really, really muddy. We've actually had people occasionally get stuck here, but most of the time it's not a big deal. Up here is the big bend in the driveway. It's going to turn back to the right. And there's a little hill there. When I first started running, coming from the house, getting up over that little hill was quite a challenge. I could feel it every single time. And thankfully now, most days anyway, it's not too bad and I can handle it okay. It just occurred to me I probably should be holding my phone the other way, holding it horizontally instead of vertically. Forgive my lack of cinematography skills. Well, I'm gonna shut it off and finish my walk and maybe get in a little run or a lap or two, and I will chat again with you later.